Hello and welcome to this edition of the Southwest Ohio Magazine with your show host Gregg Curless and Mary McPhail. Tonight we have a special guest tonight. Her name is Donna Lewis, and she has wrote a book called Home Elvis, some of her diaries from 15 years of being friends with Elvis. So be sure to stay tuned. And now here's Gregg Curless and Mary McPhail.
Hello once again, everyone, and welcome to Southwest Ohio Magazine. Mary, it's really beginning to look a lot like spring out there, isn't it?
I thought about you all week. We were talking about your project at school in the yard, and I wondered how things are going with this nice spring weather.
It's going very well. We're getting out there. We're doing a lot, for our viewers, we're doing some landscaping around the school, and our PTO is doing a big project with that. So we're out there with shovels and getting everything all tilled up, and it's been pretty nice.
I think everyone's been doing a lot of yard work before the rain.
Before the rain, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, how about you? I know you like to golf. So have you been out there doing a little golfing?
Well, I'm getting ready to golf, or to make an effort to play golf, shall we say. But yeah, we've had some really nice weather the past couple weeks on and off, and it'll be nice to hit the links as soon as it warms up a little bit.
I have a good golf joke I'd like to tell you.
Okay,
it's the only
I would
golf
like to
joke
hear it.
I know, so let me tell you this, okay? Well, there was a gentleman and his buddy, and they've been playing golf together for 35 years faithfully every Saturday. You know, they get out there, it could be 40 degrees, it doesn't make a difference, they get out there and play golf. Well, one day they're on 17th green, and a funeral procession goes by. So the gentleman, one gentleman kind of stands up there, he's ready to take his putt into the hole, but he stops, takes his cap off, puts it over his heart, and just kind of pauses in respect as the funeral procession goes by. And his buddy, after the last car went by, his buddy says, "Well, why did you do that? We've been golfing together for 35 years and you've never done anything like this before." And he says, "Well," he goes, "I figure if you live with a woman for 25 years, you ought to have a little bit of respect." So.
I should have seen that coming,
Yeah,
and I just didn't, so I will next time. That's pretty good.
That is. Well, it's
good
the only golf joke I know. It may not be good. Thank you for saying so.
That was
it may
a good
not
joke.
be good, but at least that's the only golf joke.
And if you have any complaints about it, write Gregg, care of the station.
Well, anyway, Mary, we have a great show tonight, don't we? This is a really special treat. It's a rare opportunity. We have a couple of guests with us who have had some wonderful experiences, and we're going to introduce them right now. So I'd like to say hello to Donna Lewis. Donna, welcome to the program, and to Craig Slanker. So Craig, welcome to our program. It's nice to have you two here.
We're real excited about this.
We are. And Donna is the reason for being on our program here tonight, because she has met Elvis Presley several times. Is that correct, Donna?
True.
Right, and as we're going to talk about your life as a young girl, and you've had lots of experiences with your family being down in Memphis, being close to Elvis Presley, and actually your father worked for Elvis for a while. We're going to talk a little bit about that this evening. And as a young girl, you kept diaries of your experiences down there in Memphis and around Graceland, and has taken those diaries with the help of Craig and transformed them into two very wonderful books.
Yes, really interesting, and these are actual transcripts of everything about those years with Elvis, from what he wore to what he did to the people that he hung around with. It's amazing. It's a chronologue of his life.
It is, and we're going to kind of jump right in and talk about this. Both of the books are entitled Home Elvis, and it's Donna Lewis's diaries about her family's experience in living in Memphis. And the first one starts off with volume 1, going from 1962 to 1966. And Donna, let's just kind of jump into this if we can. Tell us, how did your family first get to meet Elvis all those years ago?
Oh, basically my mother was the original fan, and my dad took us down on vacation in 1962. We hoped just to see the house, and we met Elvis's Uncle Travis Smith and had dinner with him and spent a few hours in the evening with him, and he said, "I'll take you on a sightseeing tour of Memphis." And we got in his pink Cadillac and started going to different sites in Memphis, you know. And we ended up at the fairgrounds, and it was just total darkness, and couldn't understand why we were sitting out in front of a fairgrounds like that. So all of a sudden, a limousine pulls up in front of our car, and the lights started to go on the fairgrounds, and the door opens up, and out steps Elvis Presley. And that was the beginning of 15 years of being around him.
And how old were you?
I was almost 12.
Now see, that would be a fun age to meet a movie star, wouldn't it?
Would,
to have all that idealism and to not believe
Right.
that you're standing there at the gates of the fairground meeting someone
Really?
that everyone in the country loved.
And it was
Yes.
really the opportunity that you got to meet Elvis in the first place was because your family were devoted fans and made that trip, as so many people have, to
Yes.
Memphis to get an opportunity just to kind of be close to him or maybe catch a glimpse of him.
And just to hope to even see the outside of the house, really, is what it was about. We never bargained to actually meet him, and it was just a unbelievable way, that we did meet him. And like I said, we met him at the fairgrounds, and he was so polite when we first met him. He had gloves on, and he apologized for wearing gloves when he shook our hands, and he said, "I blistered my hands the night before in the Dodgem cars. I'm sorry." Of course, my dad, being the good old boy my dad was, popped Elvis in the gut. And Elvis had finished making Follow That Dream. And my dad said, "Looks like you put on some weight there, And Elvis smiled at him. And he said, "Yes, sir." He said, "But in Florida, all we had to do was eat." He said, and work. He said, "Mostly eat." So it wasn't offensive, but I felt like finding a hole and crawling into it,
Well, then your family goes back to Cincinnati because you were from this area, correct?
Yes, correct.
And around the Evendale area, is that
Evendale,
right? Okay. And then you went back and actually pulled up stakes. Your family just literally moved from Cincinnati down to Memphis in 1965, right?
Yes, we did.
You
3 years
became
later.
permanent Elvis fans.
Oh, definitely. And Memphis residents for many, many years after. Yes.
See, I think this is fascinating.
It is.
Because it was your mother, your father, your older sister, and yourself.
And myself.
And you really did make being fans of this gentleman your avocation, and in fact ended up being really good friends of the family and meeting all the
Right.
cousins and all the security people. In fact, your father ended up working security.
Yes, he did. And as a matter of fact, a lot of times when Elvis's uncles or cousins would pass away, unfortunately, my dad was asked to be pallbearer. So we were like really part of
Part
the
of the family, huh?
I mean, we experienced everything with the Presleys.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do, Donna. We're going to get a chance to talk to Craig here in a little bit. We're going to take a quick break and come back, and we've just touched the tip of the iceberg. We want to get into these fascinating stories a little bit more. How about?
Thank you.
So with that, everyone, please stick with us. We'll be right back to Southwest Ohio Magazine right after this.
Welcome back. And I'd like to start this segment by talking to Craig Slanker, the co-author and editor of Volumes 1 and 2 of Hurry Home Elvis. And Craig, I'd like to ask you, obviously a lot of our viewers are going to wonder how you met Donna and came to be involved as a collaborator on this project. Could you tell our audience a little bit about that?
Well, Donna and her mother worked at Sealtron in Reading, Ohio, and I was a manager there. Got to know both Donna and her mom very well, and found out that they were very much involved with Elvis. When in 1995, after her mother died, Donna decided the time was right to tell her story. Now, again, Donna had been around Elvis for quite a number of years and had kept diaries of those days, and she trusted me enough to transcribe the diaries. She turned them over to me. I transcribed them and edited them, and we've published 2 books entitled Hurry Home Elvis, based on those diaries.
Now, we talked a little bit before we went on camera about the fact that these really were a young woman's actual diaries and recollections. Yeah. Tell our audience a little bit about what the material was that you started to work with.
Well, she started off with little girl diaries with a little locket and all, but she had so much information that she had 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper. She folded up these sheets in half, then folded them again in thirds, stacked them up, tied them up with ribbons. They were all in order, but it took me 9 hours one day just to unfold all the paper that she had. Just an incredible amount of information.
Now, piece of trivia here. Where were these diaries all these years?
For 20 years, she kept these all this information in a clothes hamper.
In a clothes hamper.
Just a metal clothes hamper like you'd see in, right out of the 60s.
You could have easily kept those letters in my clothes hamper, because that's about how long it takes for me to get the wash done.
Uh-oh. Family secrets coming out here.
I would have never dropped them in by accident in the washer, because it takes 20 years to actually...
Well, no, I just think it's amazing that you really did work from the actual original papers with a young girl's handwriting, and then over the years as you got a little older, I'm sure the way you expressed yourself changed. It's really mature. Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Now, you spent a lot of nights going to the Memphis Theater with Elvis and seeing movies. Tell us about those years.
Oh, we would start going to the show at midnight or after, a little bit after, and we would sit in the show and watch the same show sometime if he was really, a fan of that celebrity like Peter Sellers or Clint Eastwood. But Elvis would show 2 and 3 movies each night, and some nights he would sit in the show and sing. Movies that he
along with him, huh?
Yeah, but also maybe he would be recording in Nashville. He would be like rehearsing as he was watching the show, like you'd be sitting around in your living room and just talking about what was happening in the show.
Hey, you know what? Elvis was the first one to have big screen TV, because it just kind of like, rent that out, the theater out, and just like you're being at home now.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, did you ever watch his movies when you were at the theater?
Well, one time only. He showed That's the Way It Is, a documentary film he had made, and he constantly criticized the way he looked on it and said he didn't like something about the way he looked, and he was too fat, or he didn't like a certain number the way it was done. He was always very critical.
I think that's interesting. Now, you were actually one of the few chosen guests at Elvis and Priscilla's reception at Graceland.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that time.
Probably one of my best memories, one of my fondest memories. And I was 17 years old, and we were invited, and we had to make a decision whether we could buy new clothes to wear or a wedding gift. So we took about $17, $18, went to Walgreens and bought a tea service.
Wow.
So you can imagine how really nice it looked, but to us that's the best we could do.
But to him, I'm sure he treasured it, though.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because
from the heart.
From the heart. Exactly.
Right. And we were talking earlier, there were only about 100 people or so, did we say?
Roughly 100, yes.
At the reception.
And that's counting his relatives, his lawyers, his daddy, and the boys, and us. I mean, it was family.
Well, at that point, you obviously were family to him, because you were really involved in a lot of the day-to-day activities at the fairgrounds and the theater, and with your dad being a security guard.
Exactly. And I think within those years, Elvis knew he could trust us. We never wanted anything except to be there, and we were there if he needed us, and I think he knew that.
Now, in the diaries also, there's a picture of another gift that you had given to Elvis. It wasn't his wedding gift, though, but it was several years later, I think when you were 19 years old, is that correct? And that is still hanging in Graceland today, is that right? Tell us a little bit about that gift, Donna.
It was Christmas of 1969, and I put a picture in layaway. It was a wharf scene with a sailing ship and a clock in the tower, and that was his present from me. And when he opened it up, he said, I have a, he knew where it would go, and he said it would look exactly right, and he hung it up, and it's still there.
That's amazing. Can you see that on the tour, or is it in a part of the house? It's on the tour.
It's on the tour. As soon as you come out of the pool room, the billiard room, it's the only thing hanging in the hallway. The only thing, and it's still there.
That's
so see, that tells you that your family must have meant a lot to him, and that you really did have a deep relationship, because you think a big star like that must have gotten tons of gifts and mementos from people all over the country. They couldn't have fit in Graceland. So for him to have hung your picture on the wall
and for it to still be there,
that's really neat.
That is neat.
Yeah.
Well, Greg, what do you think? Should we thank our wonderful sponsors for being on board with us again?
Let's do that right now.
I'd like to thank Cantor Agency Insurance and Real Estate in Bethel.
And of course, Jeannie's Styling Salon in New Richmond.
Colonel Pizza in New Richmond, Greg's favorite haunt.
Oh yes, at least 10 pizzas a week.
Yes,
right.
We know.
And of course also in New Richmond, the Landing Restaurant.
And the coaxial cable system. Thanks everyone.
And also Simpson Security right here in Amelia, Ohio. And those are the fine folks that sponsor our Southwest Ohio Magazine program. And I'll tell you what, Mary, let's take a quick break, come right back and talk with Donna some more about this fascinating diaries. Let's do that.
Let's do it.
All right, stay with us everyone. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. The name of the book is Hurry Home Elvis, the Donna Lewis Diaries, Volume 1 and 2. And I tell you, we don't have to, they're available in the bookstores right across the street from Graceland, but you don't have to go that far to get them, do you, Mary?
No, you certainly don't. In fact, both volumes are available right here in Cincinnati at Border Books, Little Professor Bookstore, Barnes & Noble, and Joseph Beth Bookstore.
Right.
So, you know, I would really recommend, if you've got an interest in Elvis, the history of this gentleman and what he meant to the entertainment industry for 4 decades, it would really be worth it to go out and check out these books. I think you'd enjoy them a lot.
And for a special offer for Southwest Ohio Magazine viewers only, Donna has graciously agreed to let us have 2 of those books, which we're going to give away to some of our viewers, Mary.
Yes, we'll have a drawing on our show.
And all you have to do is just send your name, address, and phone number on a postcard to Viewpoint Video Productions, say Elvis Books, and the address is Box 700, Amelia, Ohio 45102. And I'll tell you what, Mary, we're going to be pulling out the lucky winner on a future show, so that'll be great.
I think that'll be fun, and it'll give us a chance too to hear from some of our viewers. So if on that same postcard you want to give us any show ideas or comments or suggestions, we'd sure love to hear from you.
And speaking of some more ideas about our show, let's go back to the one about Elvis right now. This is just a fascinating subject. We could talk just days on this, Donna. And not only did your family have a lot of experiences at Graceland, but they actually took several trips to Las Vegas when Elvis was doing shows out there. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Elvis started performing live again in Las Vegas in 1969. And the first time out there, we really didn't have enough money to go. As always, we were broke. And 4 days before he opened up, we knew we couldn't go. I mean, we just didn't have the money. My mother was an avid bingo fan, and she went to bingo all the time with what little bit she had. She won $1,000. Nothing got paid. We packed our car, a '57 Ford without air conditioning.
Oh boy.
Crossed the desert, went to Las Vegas and saw Elvis.
That's great. Now, of course,
Yeah.
he knew you from being in Memphis, so he would give you some great seats once you got to Las Vegas.
He did. It was usually, you know, he'd have us go down by the mic or the pit area. We sit in like the first row at the microphone, and he would always come out and point you out or sing to you, or if he knelt down to hold your hand or something. But he would always acknowledge that he knew you were there.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
That's
it was
really
great.
neat.
It was fantastic.
I bet it was.
And you said he was a very self-effacing man. He never had quite the huge ego that you hear about a lot of movie stars and singing sensations, that really in public and private he was always a very polite individual and very friendly to his fans. This was your experience.
Uncommonly friendly. I mean, he could meet you and you felt like you knew him for your whole life. I think that's what made him special, was even if you didn't know him personally, he made you feel that you did know him and that you were special to him as he was to you.
Now, Craig and Donna, there's going to be some upcoming events that we want to talk to our viewers about that you're going to be involved with, and I know that fans all over the world just cannot get enough information about Elvis. You know, he is just so well loved, you know, just 20 years after his death, as much as he was even before. And I know that they're going to want to get copies of these books, but you're also going to make some personal appearances, and let's talk about that right now. First of all, one is going to be real close here to our viewers, and that's going to be in Hamilton, and there's an Elvis celebration coming up, I think, in the 1st of June. Tell us about that, Greg.
June 5th, 6th, and 7th. June 5th, it'll be at the Hamiltonian Hotel. They're having a number of Elvis impersonators, and then the 6th and 7th, it continues at the Hamilton Music Theater. Again, they're bringing in Elvis impersonators, very prominent Elvis impersonators from throughout the country, and we're going to be there autographing the books and talking about Donna's days around Elvis.
So our viewers could go on up there to Hamilton and get a chance to meet both of you.
Absolutely.
And purchase one of your books, and also get an autographed copy of one too, you said.
Yeah.
That'll be wonderful.
We would love to see any Elvis fans and meet them and talk with them and share stories.
And Donna, you told us about a just wonderful opportunity, which I believe is coming up for you this weekend, if I'm not mistaken, or sometime soon.
It's this weekend, yes.
And you're going to get on a plane and head out to California. Tell us about that.
Well, back in 1967, Elvis got married, and he went to Palm Springs for his honeymoon. So this many years later, I'm going to stay in his home in Palm Springs for the whole weekend and talk with Elvis fans and have a circle of memories.
Now, see,
wow.
do you think she needs a couple valets?
Yeah.
Maybe we can.
I could park cars, Donna.
We can do this.
Come on, let's have fun.
I would love to do that. Boy, that must be a great experience for you. That'll be wonderful.
It's a great experience as someone that knew him, but also is still a fan.
Right. You'll have to come back on our show maybe and tell us all about that trip.
Oh,
so.
that would be wonderful.
Now, not to put you on the spot or anything, but we were talking a little bit before. Out of all of the experiences and all of the memories that you and your family have had about living at Memphis, meeting Elvis at all of these places, what would be one of the most outstanding memories that you have? Sticks out in your mind more than any other one?
Have to be the wedding reception.
I would
think.
imagine. Yeah.
I was 17 again, and like I said, it was just once in a lifetime opportunity for anyone to attend, and we were blessed enough to be able to go there and share that and see him in his tuxedo, and he was just gorgeous. I mean, he really was. He was beautiful, and it was a memory I think that I will hold very dear, but I have 15 years of those kind of memories, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very special time.
That's great.
And they're in these books.
They're in these books, and again, we want to remind our viewers that you get an opportunity to actually win both of these books, and Donna and Craig, will you autograph those for us too?
Absolutely.
So we'll even have autographed copies of those books. Once again, all you have to do is just send your name, address, and phone number on a card to Viewpoint Productions, Box 700, Amelia, Ohio, 45102. And as we mentioned, we'll pull those out of a big hat here and
Have ourselves a couple of winners on our program.
Have some winners on our program. That's
That'll
right.
be wonderful.
Well, we're going to hate to leave you two. We're going to come back from a commercial and say goodbye, but it's been fascinating having you with us. So
Thank
stick
you so
around
much.
I think
one
we
more
could
time.
probably do 6 or 7 shows.
Oh.
Easily. This
No
has really been a
question about it.
pleasure.
No
We'll be
question
right
about it.
back.
Thank you.
And welcome back, everyone. We just have a few minutes left, and want to remind our viewers that the book is entitled Hurry Home Elvis, the Donna Lewis Diaries, and it's co-written by Donna herself and also Craig. So we want to thank you both again for being on our program. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
And Craig, again, Mary and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but you can get this book at all sorts of places. Can you just run down a few of those again for our viewers?
That would be Barnes & Noble, Borders, Joseph Bath's Little Professor books, and some other independent bookstores around Cincinnati.
And at the bookstore across the road from Graceland. Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
We have a website, which is www.bustedbird.com, and it's BUSTEDBURD.com. And
we also have an 800 number here too, and
Yeah.
I'll read that for our viewers too. And you can order this book by calling the 800 number. It's 1-888-398-2438. So this being the electronic age, we can just get copies of this book anywhere, can't we? It's really wonderful.
And if our viewers would like to meet you in person and have you sign a copy of the book, they can see you in Hamilton, Ohio on June 5th, 6th, or 7th.
Right.
And I know we talked about that last segment, and I think probably a lot of people would like to come on up and meet you in person and ask their own questions.
Well, I'd love to talk about him with all the Elvis fans.
That's
Please
great.
come and see us, you know.
That's
Yes.
wonderful. Once again, thank you both for being on our program. program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, everybody, that concludes another edition of Southwest Ohio Magazine. Please stay tuned for future shows. So
Bye-bye.
long, everybody.